I'm Lucie Fink, and this week is 5 days of date nights. Welcome everyone. If you're new to Refinery29's YouTube channel, click on the little subscribe box in the corner and give this video a thumbs up if you're excited to see 5 different dates. With all of the craziness at Refinery29 that seems to pop up around the holiday season, I feel like I've been pouring a ton of my time and energy into work, and to be completely honest, it seems like I'm slacking on my social life just a little bit. I learned somewhere that the 6 overall factors that contribute to you leading an overall healthy life are sleep, diet, exercise, stress levels, mental health, and number 6, relationships. Relationships are like flowers. They need to be watered and nurtured if you want them to grow and thrive. And I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. I'm talking about every single relationship that you have in your life. Not too long ago, I did an episode of Lucie for Hire as a cranberry farmer with Ocean Spray. I partnered up with Ocean Spray again to indulge in a full 5 days of exploring unique date ideas that will hopefully help build my relationships with a bunch of people that I love. So here's what I did on my 5 fabulous dates. I knew that if I wanted to do a date night episode, I needed to start the week off with my favorite person, the guy that I am actually dating, romantically. Michael and I love date nights, and we try to set aside at least a few nights a week to have dinner together. But to make Monday's date truly special, we took the classic tenting under the stars experience and brought it indoors to our Manhattan apartment. We ordered a 7-foot canvas tent online, and then the two of us got to work turning our living room into a cozy camping ground. The tent came in multiple pieces, so there were wooden rods all over the floor. We had to look up the instructions online, and it wound up taking us about 30 minutes to assemble the whole thing.
So it starts with the drill pole. Then we connect this, another connector, and then a top pole. So this is one of our 5 legs.
And even though it was pretty complex and a little bit labor intensive,
Gently push. What are you twisting for? This is hard.
we definitely felt like it was a team building exercise that had the two of us laughing the entire time.
Hello? Are you okay? This is so fun. Nice teamwork. Okay, we've got our tent.
And once we got the tent standing, the fun part began.
I'm going in. Oh my god, it's so cool. We're in.
We're in. Hey, bye.
We started decorating the whole space, so we put string lights all around the edge of the canvas.
It's like a Christmas tree. Don't drop me.
We added a faux fur throw to make the base really comfy. We jazzed it up with wintry things like pine cones, a fake candle, and even a fake fire.
This is amazing.
And once everything was assembled, we ordered some sushi and sat down for dinner.
Sushi.
All right.
Yeah. Cheers.
This night was magical. There was something so surreal about having a giant tent in our living room taking up so much space. But it's so much fun to do something like that for just one night as a change of pace. After dinner, we snuggled up and we ate some cinnamon sugar marshmallows that we pretended to roast over the fake flame. If you're out there looking for a cheap and cozy date night at home, you should definitely consider doing something like this. This date was hygge to the max. For my next date, I wanted it to be with the gal I love most in the whole world. You guessed it, my twin sister and my womb-mate. Yes, we shared a womb. Allie. Thankfully, we only live a few blocks apart, so we do hang out all the time, but most of the time we're doing the exact same thing. We're snuggling up and we're watching TV. So I wanted our twin sister date night to involve doing something active, something new that we both haven't done at home before, and also something that was gonna be a memorable learning experience for the two of us. One of Allie's all-time favorite foods is pasta, so I invited her over to my apartment so that we could make our own pasta from scratch. Before we got started, I made us cocktails using Ocean Spray's Pink Light Cranberry Juice Drink.
This one is made with pink, white, and red cranberries, so it's pink. Wow, it's so pretty. I know. Save some for me.
I first poured some rum into a cocktail shaker, then I added in fresh mint leaves and the Pink Light Cranberry Juice Drink. I shook it up with ice,
Make sure it's perfect.
poured it into a pitcher,
Look at that beauty.
added some sparkling water and a garnish of mint and fresh cranberries on top, and then we popped it into the fridge to keep it nice and cold while we started making the pasta. Allie and I cleaned off the counter.
Give me a hug. Do you like like me?
And then we created a mixture using all-purpose flour, semolina flour, and some salt. We poured it onto the counter and then created a little well in the middle. We cracked 1 whole egg and 2 additional egg yolks into the open space. And then using a fork, we whisked the eggs and slowly integrated the flour into the liquid without letting the egg run outside of the well. We started kneading the dough, which was a lot tougher than we both thought it would be.
You ready to eat this? Catch.
And we ultimately set it aside to rest while we started making a vegetable bolognese. We chopped up a giant mixture of veggies and added them into a sizzling pan.
It's ready.
We mixed in tomato sauce and then capped it and let it simmer while we got back to the dough. In just the 10 minutes that we set it aside, the dough had softened a ton, so it was a lot easier to handle this time around.
Oh.
And we rolled it out with a rolling pin, making it as thin as we possibly could without having any cracks. Then we rolled it up onto itself and cut it into pappardelle strips. If you're doing this yourself, I would highly recommend using a pasta rolling machine, one of those things that makes the dough really skinny and flat, because our pasta did come out kind of thick. But then again, pasta is pasta. I don't discriminate based on size. Once the pasta was cut, we created 3 little nests and dropped them into boiling water to cook. And once it was ready, we mixed it with the vegetable sauce and dinner was served. Who out there doesn't love the idea of cooking something from scratch with your best friend on a cold winter's night?
Twin dinner. This is so good.
If you have a friend or a sibling that you spend a lot of time with, try mixing it up one night soon. Do something that you both have never tried before, make something new, and just enjoy the experience together. Wednesday was hilarious. In thinking about what date nights I wanted to have, I immediately thought of the coworkers at Refinery29 that I spend most of my days with. Again, dates don't need to be strictly romantic, and group dates can be a great team building experience. I brought in a comedian from New York's famous improv and sketch comedy club, the Upright Citizens Brigade, and she taught me and a group of my colleagues the basics of improv. We all stayed at the office late after everyone else had gone home, and we gathered in the Refinery29 studio space.
Why don't we get our improv class started?
We formed into a circle and started out with some warm-ups.
Zerp.
Zoo.
It helped us all loosen up and have some laughs before moving on to some more challenging stuff. Next, we played a game where someone goes into the middle of the circle and Monique picks a topic that that person has to pretend to be an expert on.
You invented flight without airplanes.
So when people on the outside of the circle ask them questions, they have to think on their feet and answer quickly and confidently as if they were an expert.
Are there any wings?
No, it's just your heart. And then you fly.
You talk to squirrels in Madison Square Park.
Do you have a favorite squirrel?
I do. His name's Timmy. He's relatively new to the squirrel scene.
Great job.
And lastly, we did some scene work with partners and groups.
No stress. We're all here to support.
One where we had to be doing some action together, but we weren't allowed to talk about the action.
You guys are wall climbing.
Thinking about how I have to meet my boyfriend's parents. Maybe you're on the hard side of the wall. Mine is, I have pretty good pegs here. We're not allowed to talk about rock climbing. Oh, right.
And another one where we had to come up with character traits for other people, and then those people just had to go with it.
I hate the way she's always cutting her fingernails at work.
Yeah, does anyone have a clipper? Oh yeah, it's really hideous in there. It's green.
We did an exercise where new people would join the scene, and every time a new person came on, they had to change the topic entirely.
She's choking.
Completely different scene.
We're just practicing our yoga.
Zombies! Christina!
And 1. And 2. And 3.
I did improv in high school and college, but now that I've been out of school for almost 5 years, I'm starting to realize how beneficial improv is for a job like mine. Or honestly, for any job. Having the ability to think on your feet and just speak in front of people, everyone needs these skills. Some of these colleagues are people that I work with every day, and others are people that I've just seen around the office a couple times, but this was a bonding experience for sure. And now whenever I see my improv crew around the office, I feel like we have this special connection from that one date night we shared together. Thursday's date night was a little bit different from the traditional date nights that you've already seen, mainly because it was a day date. I typically do date nights or group dinners with my friends, but it's typically just one pocket of friends at a time. So either I'm with just my high school friends, or just my college friends, or just my camp friends, or just my work friends. And since I've met all these people in different places and different points in my life, many of these groups don't know each other. So I wanted to do an activity on Wednesday where I could get friends from various parts of my life to come together. And I settled on an afternoon of wine tasting because you know what they say, wine brings people together. I don't exactly know who said it, but somebody must have said it because it's true. I took a half day at work and I first invited my friend from college, Monique, who's now in medical school and had the day off anyway. Then I invited my friend Ashley, who I actually met at an Instagram event in New York City. And Ashley brought her friend Stevie from back home. So it turned into one of those the more the merrier situations, and everyone was meeting at least one person that they didn't already know. We took a 2-hour drive out of Manhattan, passing the most beautiful scenery along the way, green, red, orange, and yellow trees and rolling mountains. And eventually we arrived at Millbrook Vineyards and Winery. The moment we got there, everyone was in such a good mood and was so excited to be out of the city and in such a beautiful spot. And we went inside for a wine tasting first and tried a delicious selection of red and white wines.
If you want to know the 5 S's, the first one is sight. Take a look at the wine that you have in your glass. Then you want to swirl. Releases all the aromas and oxygenates the wine. Sniff. Then the next one is just a sip. Then you want to swallow and savor the wine.
Cheers.
Cheers,
everyone.
We learned about the best food pairing options.
Anything soft.
Sushi.
Yes. Too bad I don't have it here
could
today.
use some sushi.
And just loved getting to relax and unwind. Afterwards, we walked around the property, through the beautiful vineyards, and just spent some quality time together as friends. We talked about life and about everyone's individual jobs and career paths, all while enjoying the fresh air and the scenery. Today reminded me that it's okay to mix groups of people and that you don't always have to stay set spending time with the same group of friends at once. It got me out of the paradigm of compartmentalizing my friends into these little pockets and instead made me think that if you have a fun idea of something you want to do, you can bring together people from your various circles. And now you're doing everyone a service and everyone's making new friends. I was trying to figure out who in the world to take on a date on Friday when I was instantly transported back to my 5 days of spending time alone episode from a few years ago. Ever since that episode, I've enjoyed my alone time so much more because, as they say, and this time it's a real quote, the most important relationship is the one you have with yourself. And I just knew that spending the day taking myself out on a date was the best possible way I could finish off this week. I basically just asked myself, what do you want to do today? And the very first thing that came to mind was puppies. Almost any time I see an animal, my heart completely melts. But I also knew that if I was going to spend the day enjoying myself surrounded by puppies, I wanted to be volunteering and giving back. I reached out to Animal Haven, which is where I went during 5 days of volunteering. And I spent my day socializing with the animals,
I love you all.
cleaning out cages, and taking their dogs out for walks.
Oh, yeah.
I had a very unexpectedly sad moment inside as I was meeting all the dogs and hearing the stories of what brought them there in the first place. And I knew I was feeling emotional. I was starting to well up as we walked around, but then I actually got into the cage with a 9-year-old Chow Chow mix named Sierra, who was found wandering the streets of Philly all by herself. She was very mucusy and she was a little bit itchy all over her body, but the moment I got into the cage, I could just feel the love from her, and I was looking into her eyes, and I don't know what came over me, but I just started bawling.
Oh my gosh.
I was just overcome with this wave of sadness for these creatures and just a feeling of wanting to rescue all of them, literally to take them all out and put them on an open field where they can run outside and be loved by a family. Sadly, I'm not at a place in my life right now where I feel like I'd be a good pet owner just because I'm traveling too much for work and my schedule is so unpredictable. So for now, I can only encourage all of you out there to adopt, don't shop. And if anyone wants to take little Sierra home, I will love you forever and always. Later on, when I got home, I continued my solo date for the day by putting my phone away, popping on my comfiest robe, and fixing myself a nice warm cup of tea. I crawled into bed and I started eating the leftover marshmallows from my date with Michael. I snuggled up in the sheets and I watched 2 of my favorite movies back to back. This week was filled with such incredible experiences and memories with people that all mean so much to me. From the romantic relationships to the ones that are just filled with love and mutual respect. I hope you were able to take away some really fun date ideas that you can try out with a romantic partner, with friends, or with anyone that you want to spend extra time with. Comment below letting us know what you did on your favorite date ever. And also let me know what you want to see me try next time for 5 days at a time. See ya! Hey YouTube, thanks for watching. Click here for another 5-day challenge video, here to subscribe to Refinery29 on YouTube, and right here for my personal YouTube channel. Bye!